Hi, Roadrunners. This is Michelle Casa, Senior Financial Aid Advisor here at Rio Hondo College.
And my name is Jasmine Zavala, and I'm also a Senior Financial Aid Advisor.
So we know financial aid can be very overwhelming, so we hope this presentation will give you a better understanding of how your financial aid works. So applying for financial aid. Every academic year, a student must apply for financial aid. Students have two applications that are available. The federal application for student aid, it is for U.S. citizens or eligible non-citizens or U.S. permanent resident. The California DREAM Act, it is for undocumented students that qualify for AB 540 status. So it's extremely important for new incoming students to verify your residency with admissions and records, and also making sure that your Social Security is in the system. If we don't have your Social Security in the system, some students might have forgot it or didn't have it when they were applying at Rio Hondo College. Your application will never come in, and it could cause a delay with your financial aid. So if you have started registering and you're seeing that your fees are extremely high or your fees haven't been taken care of with the fee waiver, it's extremely important to contact our office, and we'll be able to see what the issue is. Every student will receive a confirmation page. This is extremely important, verifying the schools that you listed. Sometimes students don't report Rio Hondo College if Rio Hondo College wasn't their first choice. However, they could always go back and make those changes. Just keep in mind when the application comes in, once you make any type of sort of changes, it can take about 7 to 10 days for the application to be received at the college. And then this will also show you a rough estimate what type of financial aid you are eligible for. Just remember there might be other requirements being requested from the campus. Academic years. So the 2019-2020 academic year covered fall of last year, spring of this year, and summer. So if you're a current new student or your first semester is summer, it is extremely important that you complete a 2019-20 FAFSA or DREAM Act application. The 2020-21 application will be covering this fall, next spring, and also summer.
Students are considered either dependent or independent on the FAFSA or DREAM Act. The FAFSA or DREAM Act will ask questions to determine this information. So it is not the student's choice to pick if they're dependent or independent. So students are dependent if they are under the age of 24, are not married, and do not have children they support. So if a student is dependent, then they must provide parent information on their FAFSA or DREAM Act application.
Just keep in mind, if you do not provide your parents' information and you are considered a dependent student, your application won't be valid. So we will not be able to apply the California Promise, if you are eligible for that, to waive your classes until we have a valid application on file. If students are experiencing homelessness, there are 3 questions on your financial aid application that you would report yes to, depending on what you're eligible for. If you do answer yes, we are required to make an appointment. You would actually make an appointment with myself, and then I would be able to certify you, in fact, if you are experiencing homelessness for that academic year.
Students are considered to be independent if they are able to answer yes to any of the following questions. Are you 24 or older? Are you married? Do you have children you support? Are you serving on active duty in the U.S. Armed Forces? Are you a veteran? Do you have legal dependents? At any time since the age of 13, were you in foster care, a ward of the court, or an orphan? Were you an emancipated minor, or were you in legal guardianship to someone other than your parent? Are you an unaccompanied homeless youth or at risk of being homeless? So as Michelle stated, if you do not provide parent information on your application, then it will be rejected. However, if there's an extenuating circumstance that explains why you don't have contact with your parents, then we can do a dependency appeal, but that's something that you would have to contact us for, and we would have to see if it truly is an extenuating circumstance.
The appeals for professional judgment or dependency appeals, those will be open up closer to the semester starting.
The expected family contribution. The EFC utilizes the FAFSA or DREAM Act to see how much income your family is able to contribute to your education for that year. So it takes into consideration your household size, the household income, how many people in the household are in college. So if a student has a 0 EFC, that means their family is unable to contribute anything to their education for that school year. However, if they have a $20,000 EFC, that means their family is able to contribute $20,000 to their education for the year. So we utilize the EFC to subtract from the cost of attendance, and that gives us your need. So every student, since every student has a different EFC, every student's financial aid awards will look different. Checking your financial aid status. So doing the FAFSA or DREAM Act is the first step into receiving financial aid. So you need to make sure that while you do the application, you also have to create a financial aid account with Rio Hondo. And the way you do that is by accessing it through your Access Rio or by visiting the financial aid homepage. When you first start the account, you will have to provide your name, your birth date, and your social security number or your DREAM Act ID exactly as it appears with your FAFSA or DREAM Act application.
Verification. So 30% of the population does get selected for verification. So it's extremely important that when we do open up the 2020-21 verification for students, you are checking your portal, you're registering if you're a new student, because there are going to be required documents if you are selected. So we do have to verify household size, number in college, if parents or yourself worked, W-2. So making sure that you have all that information with you. In the past, we would request the the tax transcripts. However, since we know the IRS, there is a delay or students aren't able to request their parents or their 2018 tax return transcripts, we are able to accept the tax form. So when parents do their taxes, it's kind of, a big tax packet. You will have to sign the tax forms and then upload all these documents on your portal, and then we will verify that information. Just keep in mind the verification process, especially in the fall semester, all the students are turning in documentation. So it's extremely important that you do turn it in as soon as possible because there can be a processing time within 8 to 10 weeks.
So the federal aid available at Rio Hondo College, this is for students who complete the FAFSA application. So you have to be US citizen or permanent resident. That includes the federal Pell grant, federal direct loans, and federal work study. State aid available at Rio Hondo. So our DREAM Act students can qualify and our FAFSA students can qualify if they're California residents. So that would be the California Promise Grant, the Cal Grant, the Student Success Completion Grant, and the Chafee Grant. Award page. So once you have completed your verification process, or if you were not selected for verification but have completed your Rio Hondo financial aid account, you will be able to determine how much financial aid you're going to qualify for at Rio Hondo. This will be on your Access Rio, and it will list every single award you qualify for, and the amounts that you see will be based off full-time enrollment. So that means for example, this student has $3,048 for their Pell Grant for fall. That means they'll receive that full amount only if they're in 12 units. If you are in 9 to 11.5 units, then you qualify for 3/4 of the award. From 6 to 8.5 units, you qualify for half of that award. So, and then students' disbursement of less than half time is dependent on the EFC. So depending on your EFC, that will determine how much you qualify for based off your units as well. And that information we could give you separately.
All our disbursement dates are posted online. We will be updating our site in the next couple weeks with our fall and spring disbursements for the following academic year. So just making sure that you guys are checking. This is a question that we get asked frequently, so you could check on the disbursements and see which disbursement you would be eligible for. Just keep in mind, if you have outstanding documentation, you're not eligible for a disbursement until everything is finalized and satisfied on your account. And just keep in mind also California Promise, which is waiving your classes. This is not dispersed to you. This is just go strictly towards your tuition. But however, you will be responsible to pay for those mandatory fees like your student fee, health fee, that will be listed on there.
So Pell lifetime eligibility used. The Pell grant is a federal grant that is dependent on your financial need. It is not an unlimited grant. So that means every student has a lifetime eligibility. So for financial aid purposes, we use percentages instead of years. So 600% eligibility means 6 years as a full-time student. 100% is equal to 1 year as a full-time student. So if you receive a Pell grant for 1 year as a full-time student, that means you will have used 100% of your 600% lifetime eligibility. So this is important to track if you're attending the community college, that you want to make sure that you have at least 300% eligibility when you transfer to the four-year institution. That 600% of your lifetime eligibility will only cover your bachelor's degree. So we encourage students to not decline their Pell Grant, because once you transfer to the four-year institution, you will not be there for 6 years. So if you ever want to track how much percentages you've used, you can visit www.nslds.ed.gov, and you use your FSA ID login to sign in. The Cal Grant is a state grant. Unlike the Pell Grant, it also takes into consideration your GPA. So there are additional requirements that you must do in order to qualify for a Cal Grant. You must complete your FAFSA or DREAM Act by the March 2nd deadline, and you must make sure that your GPA is submitted. So if you're a recent high school graduate, your high school would have submitted your GPA for you. However, if you have been out of high school for a year or more, you will have to, and you don't have 24 units at a college, you will have to request your high school resubmit it for you. If you do have 24 units at a college, then you also have to make sure that the college is submitting the GPA on your behalf. And there's 3 types of Cal Grants. The Cal Grant A is for students who have a 3.0 high school GPA, and that can only be utilized at a four-year institution. The Cal Grant B is for students who have at least a 2.0 high school GPA. That can be utilized at the four-year institution or at a community college. And then the Cal Grant C does not have a GPA requirement, but it is only for students who are in vocational programs. And as of the 1920 school year, there is a new Cal Grant. It's Cal Grants for students with dependent children. So if you indicated on your FAFSA or DREAM Act that you do have children that you financially support, then your Cal Grant will, if your Cal Grant B will be increased to $6,000 and your Cal Grant C will be increased to $4,000. The Student Success Completion Grant is also a state-funded grant. It is for students who have been paid out the Cal Grant B or the Cal Grant C, and they're in full-time enrollment. So if you are enrolled in 12 to 14.5 units, you qualify for an extra $649 a term. And if you're in 15 or more units a term, you qualify for $2,000 a term. So this isn't anything additional that you have to apply for. We see it in our end if you're enrolled in 12 or more units and if you are receiving a Cal Grant.
So it's extremely important that you are maintaining satisfactory academic progress. So every year or every semester, we run SAP after a student completes that semester. So making sure that you maintain a GPA of a 2.0, point average, complete at least 67%, and do not exceed 90 attempted units. So for example, the 67%, if you start off in 12 units, you must maintain at least 8. So at the end of the semester, if you fall below 8, then that will be considered a probation semester. If you have 2 semesters in a row where your GPA or your completion falls below the 2.0, you will be suspended from financial aid. I have seen students sit out an entire academic year not receiving financial aid and because they're suspended. Students are eligible to appeal. However, you will need to provide that documentation. If something happened in that semester that was out of your control, you are eligible to submit a SAP appeal. If not, you would have to show progress for 2 consecutive semesters where you're taking at least 6 units, your GPA is a 2.0, and you're maintaining that 67%. So we do understand that they're high unit majors. So students will get a warning once they hit 60 attempted units. So we are a 2-year institution. So there's additional 30 units that are given to students to complete their program. But as soon as they hit the 90, they become ineligible for financial aid. They should roughly be transferred out or being close to complete the program. But like I said, there are high unit majors. Students end up changing their majors throughout the year. So we do take that into consideration. But as soon as the 90 units hit, you will have to submit a financial aid appeal. Your fee waiver won't go away. However, your financial aid, like the grants that you get, you will have to appeal. It goes to a committee, and the committee either approves or denies your appeal. But you will get those notifications through your Rio Hondo email. So making sure that you guys are monitoring that information. Bank Mobile. So this is a third party that we use, that we disperse students' funds. So it's extremely important for new students. You will be receiving a green envelope. This is, it will be provided to the address that you provided with admissions and records. So if you guys recently moved, then I would get that updated. If closer to the semester starting, if you still haven't received the green envelope, you could contact our office. We could send you a code, and then you have 24 hours to activate this code. So DreamAct students, your refunds will be processed through Bank Mobile, but it will be processed as a mail check, so you will not be receiving this green envelope. So contacting us. So we are available through email, which we will respond within 24 to 48 hours, making sure you guys are extremely detailed on your emails. It has to come from your Rio Hondo email. And provide your student ID and the specific questions you have. Any type of voicemails, we will return the call within 24 hours. Again, please make sure you include your student ID, and we will return a call back, like I said, within 24 hours. We are also available through Zoom. This information is also posted on our website, our Zoom ID and the password that you will log in. A representative will be there to assist you and answer any questions that you do have. And we also are available through chat. So you can log on to the Rio Hondo homepage and you could speak with a financial aid representative. And again, making sure that you have your student ID ready. And then just staying connected. We will be updating our Instagrams with any type of deadlines or anything that we are offering students, workshops. So it's great if you follow us on Instagram, and you'll be able to keep updated with our information.